Hi, I'm John Benedetto, President of Universal Screen Printing Systems Incorporated. If you're viewing this tape, you've decided to take the plunge in becoming a screen printer. At Universal, we have 7 different models. So however, your model may have or may not have certain options you may see in this tape. Don't let that bother you. This is a generic tape, and every option and everything is explained to you on how to become a screen printer. Feel free at any time to stop the tape, make notes, and get a hold of us. Now I'd like to introduce my partner.
Hi, I'm Bill Gillespie, Jr., Vice President of Universal Screen Printing. I'd also like to welcome you to our community of screen printers and wish you the best of luck in your endeavors. If you have problems, as John mentioned, please write them down. Don't hesitate to call us. You bought that with your service, and we will be glad to help you on our helpline.
One of the first things you're going to deal with is artwork. Basically, artwork is developed into 3 different types of ideas. One is your customer gives you an idea such as a logo or a design, something like that, which you'll work with. The second one is you may have your own ideas. Don't worry, you can do that just as easily. And the third type is when your customer comes to you with an idea but has nothing on paper per se, and you have to do the artwork. First thing I'm going to tell you right now for all these new people out there is artwork is not free. What you want to be able to do is charge your customer for artwork. The machine itself is designed in 4 separate categories: art table and light table, printer, expose, and dryer. We're going to talk about the light table right now. So I'm going to get ready to take it apart. Your platen comes right up out of the machine just like this. And as I come to the front of the machine, you'll notice that we have both a piece of plastic and a piece of glass. You slide the glass out, setting it back in the back corner in your machine. What you've just done now is make yourself a light table. So when I turn on my fluorescent lights, my exposure lights, we now are diffusing it through the plastic so I can cut and paste and work on my own area right here without having to have separate machines for all this. If you've ever screen printed before or went to a screen printer, they probably charge you for such things such as make-readies or camera-ready artwork. What we have done now is been able to use UV vellum paper. It's made for blueprint machines that will go through a copy machine, a laser printer, or you can draw right on it. What we're going to use these for is to make our screens. When you're getting ready to make your screens, what you do is you take your artwork, you set it on the machine exactly where you want to print it. Take a couple small pieces of tape, being careful. The more care you take at this particular moment, the less problems you're going to have later. Get out all your wrinkles, all your bubbles, and tape it down. Then you're going to take a screen that you coated earlier and set in the machine. The machine has what's known as a flex arm. It automatically locks your screen in. So that once you make a screen, it should print in exactly the same place. We will get into developing screens in just a few minutes. On the second color, after you've made your first screen, your artwork is already placed on the machine. Taking care to make sure your glass is always back in the back corner, because if this happens to move, it will change your registration. You're going to take your next piece of artwork, lay above the first piece of artwork, line it up, and again, the more care you take right here, the better you're going to be. Tape down one side of it, lift it up on the other side, remove the tape from the one underneath it, pull it out, push it down, again just like the first one, taking out the bubbles and tape it down. This is done for every succeeding screen after that, from 1 to 14 colors, we don't care. Just remember the big hint is glass always back in the corner, and take your time. If you're in a hurry, more than likely your registration's off. When you get to set up registration, you can adjust it by taping the back side of the screen by using a shim if after you start printing you notice it off.
Now we're ready to coat our screen. The first thing we need to worry about is our lights. We need to get rid of all the white light, the sun, fluorescent lights, all. So we're going to turn them off, close our curtains or shades, and we're going to turn on our yellow bug lights. Next thing we're going to get is our scoop coater, which has a protective coating, covering, which we use all the time when we're not using it. You'll notice that it has a thin side and a thick side. We're going to use the thin side to coat. So now we're going to open our emulsion, which comes in a protective container. We're going to take and pour our emulsion into our coater, filling it only about half full. What I suggest is you get a nice work table where you can do all of this comfortably near your machine, not necessarily on it. Take, always protect your emulsion when you're not using it. Now we're going to take our screen, which we've degreased. We're going to take our scoop coater, set it about 1 inch or so from the bottom, centered on the screen, with our screen at about a 45-degree angle. We're going to rotate it up until the wings stop on the screen, and then when the emulsion is touching the whole screen, pushing in toward the screen, we're going to coat the screen upwards. Pulling the screen toward the vertical, we're going to then knife off the top, immediately turn the screen, and do the exact same thing on the inside. So now I can set my scoop coater down. I can take my screen that I've now coated. I'm going to dry it horizontally. I could place some blocks on the floor where I can set it right on the blocks. Then I can actually put a block on top and put all of my screens and stack them and let them dry. Now you should plan for 2 to 3 hours of drying time, which will vary depending on where you live and the condition of your atmosphere there. So you're going to have to test to see. My suggestion is to coat them at night before you go to bed. That way when you wake up in the morning they're totally dry. Place them in a light-proof box. Any cardboard box or any box you have in the house, put it in a place where they won't get light and they're ready to expose with any image you want at any time. Now when you're finished and you have excess emulsion in your scoop coater, this excess emulsion can be reused because it, again, has not been exposed to white light. You can either get a nice spatula, a soft cardboard, and put it back in your container. And when you finish getting all the excess out of the scoop coater, then before you expose this to white light, take and wash out your scoop coater. Wash it out very completely, dry it, and put your covering back over it to protect it, because you want to avoid any dents in either of these sides on your coater. So now I've taken my glass and plastic out from under my machine. I take the plastic piece, set it aside, take the glass piece, making sure to place it in the right-hand corner, nice and firmly. Now I'm ready to expose my screens. I take my artwork that we've copied onto the UV paper, place it on the glass using my T-square, ruler, whatever I need to get it nice and straight and exactly where I want to print it. Then I take some tape and tape it down. Now I take my screen that we've coated, and remember, when you take your screen out, you have to be sure you're in your yellow light. Set the screen right on top of the glass, on top of the artwork, and push it in just like you do when you print. Then we take a piece of corrugated cardboard, something that's nice and soft, place it on top of the artwork, place some weight on it, either a book or a carton full of water or something that's convenient, keeping the screen, the artwork, and the glass nice and tight together. Now we turn our lights on and expose our screen for the predetermined time from our step test. Now we're ready to do our step test. I've turned the lights on. We're going to let the lights expose the screen for 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, we're going to turn the lights off. I'm going to place a piece of cardboard or something that can block the light underneath the screen, covering 1/4 of my design. Then we'll turn the lights back on for 3 minutes, exposing the second, third, and fourth quarters of the machine for the design for another 3 minutes. Then we'll turn our lights out, move it back, covering half the design, and turn the lights back on for another 3 minutes. We'll do this 3 minutes for the first quarter, 3 for the second, 3 for the third, and then we'll turn our lights off, take our screen off, and now the lower portion's been exposed for 3, 6, 9, 12. We'll rinse out the screen, we'll wash it out, and then that portion of the screen that is clearest, that is closest to matching your design, will be the actual time that you will expose your screen. And if you notice the time is kind of fuzzy between, say, 6 and 9 minutes, then you may want to do a second screen starting with 5 minutes, 6, 7, 8, and then the one that washes out the clearest is exactly the time you'll use to coat your screens. And we suggest that the same person coat all the screens so that the coating technique will be the same. We also suggest that if someone else does it, label it so you'll know it's different, either thicker or thinner. But if you in fact do that, then your time should be just about the same all the time. The only difference is after a few months of using your lights, you might want to test them again in case they start to weaken. But that's your step test. And after your prescribed time, all we have to do, turn your lights off, take your cardboard and your weight off, take your screen, and as you'll notice, your screen looks just like it did when you start. All you do is take your spray bottle, thoroughly spray and moisten both sides of your screen, and your design starts to appear. Let it sit for about a minute, giving the water enough time to soak into the pores, and spray it again. Give it another minute or so. Then you can take it out to your outside to use your garden hose to rinse it out, take it to your wash basin, or take it to your shower and rinse it out. Remembering that there's no need to put any strong pressure, using your water hose maybe 2 or 3 feet away with about a 6 to 10, 12-inch spray on their screen should be enough to wash it out. And after you've washed it out, your screen is going to look just like this, which is exactly like the artwork that you put on the glass. Now, when you're ready to do your second piece, as John showed you, you're just going to have to place your art on top of the glass. And remember, in making your screens with our system, all you have to do is line up your artwork right reading so that everything is as you see it, and nothing is ever backwards or the opposite of the way you normally work. So you tape this piece down, make your second screen, or your third, or your fourth, as many colors as you want. And as John said, this machine is unique. It can produce as many colors as you need on your design. There's no limits. Good luck with your screen making.
We're going to get ready to set our machine up to print. So what we're going to do first, if the plastic is in place, great. If it happens to be out of the machine, like after you've exposed the screen, the easiest way to do this is take the glass out of the machine, slide it in, and put the glass over the top of the plastic over the top of the glass. This is for protection of the glass. Step back around behind the machine, grab your platen, slide right in the machine. Then you have to do your next adjustment, which is off contact. Off contact is the difference between the bottom of the screen and the top of the shirt. You're going to take your screen, set in the machine. There are 2 slots cut into the machine back here for you so you can get down and look through and peer along the side of the platen. What we're looking for is approximately an eighth of an inch from start to front, back to front. So the first adjustment, there's a knob underneath the machine. We're going to take it and crank it up till I feel approximately an eighth of an inch in the back. There's a knob I'm pointing at right here to adjust level, because level is very important. Once you've got that set where you want to, you pull your screen off and tighten down your set screws underneath. Before you print, it's real important that you understand that you need to warm up your platen. This becomes part of the drying cycle when we're ready to go. If you do not warm up the platen, what will happen is it will absorb all the heat and you won't be able to dry, or better known as cure, a shirt. Once your machine is totally warmed up to the point where you can't grab the platen, you're ready to go. What this is going to do for you is allow you to cure t-shirts between 35 seconds to a minute worth of time, depending on color, size of design, color of the t-shirt, things along that line. Many times during this tape, what we will do is bring out hints or ideas that we've learned over the years of doing this. One of the things we found out was when you're getting ready to print, you want everything ready, you want to be yourself comfortable, you want your shirts set so you can grab them, your squeegees ready to go, your machine's all warmed up, you're ready to go. So you're going to push your heater out of the way, you're going to grab some spray adhesive. This is important to hold your item down. What you're going to do now is spray your platen. You don't have to coat it really heavy, but just kind of a medium kind of mist. Being careful not to spray it into the screen, and try to keep it away from the edges, which helps your registration. We're going to get ready to print. The first thing you're always going to do when you get ready to print, you're going to add ink. Adding ink is very simple, but it's very important that you grab yourself a device. This is for doing cakes, believe it or not, so you won't puncture the screen. Take amount of ink that you think you may be using. Don't skimp. Remember, this ink is reusable, and whatever you don't use right now can be used again at a later time. That would be the first color right there. If you're using one spatula, make sure you wipe it off. Now the next color we're going to put on is red, because we're going to do a 2-color job. Very simply, replace the lid, always being careful, not because it will dry out, more so because it won't dry out. You want to keep the ink away from everything possible. Take the amount of ink out that you might need, spread right across the screen, across the whole area. So now we are ready to print. One of the main things you're going to do when you're ready to print, you're going to practice before you do a shirt. So we're going to practice right now, and then you can see how it looks like on a shirt. You take your practice square. It can be anything, any kind of cloth you might want to use. Get out your wrinkles. Take your first screen, pick it up, nose it into the machine, drop it down, push it forward. It automatically locks into place. When you're dealing with a squeegee, remember there's several factors. We call it PAP, pull, angle, pressure. The pull is slow and even through the entire print. The angle is 45 degrees from start to finish. And the pressure is so you feel the platen below you. One other thing to mention is the ink has a kind of a mind of its own. It's going to stick to the squeegee blade. So the first thing you do is grab the squeegee blade strongly but gently in your hand, flex it one time. It releases the ink from the squeegee onto the screen. Push down, feel the platen below you, angle 45 degrees, and pull slowly through the entire print. Set the squeegee down, remove the screen. Now that's the first color. Many times when you're screen printing, it is an art form. Do I dry a little bit now, or do I continue on to the next color? You can do either way. What I'm going to do right now is go right on to the next color, grab my red. Again, same procedure. It's the same procedure every time. Push it forward, flex, release, push, 45-degree angle pull, set down, now dry. What we've effectively done is done our first print. After you get done doing your first couple prints, check it for registration. Make sure everything's lined up. That's why we may want to shim the screen. To move one screen up, you shim it behind. To the left or right, you shim it on the side, and to turn it, shim it in the corners. Now you'd pull the heater across. Again, if this was a t-shirt, it'd take 35 to 45 to possibly a minute worth of time. And we'll see that more when we talk about drying. And then your print will be done. Now, after we practice, we're going to print a t-shirt. Here's a t-shirt. You're going to take that t-shirt, open it up, pull it across. Always be sure to know if you're going to print on the front or the back before you get started. Every t-shirt comes with what we call a printing line. Now remember, t-shirt is generic. You can print anything flat: wood, metal, plastic, glass, paper. Just the ink changes. We're doing a t-shirt today. You pull it till the seams get caught on the platen. I like to pull mine forward a little bit and remove the wrinkles out of the shirt. As the machine warms up, you'll find out getting the wrinkles out are a lot easier. And then after we get the wrinkles out, we just tuck the shirt down underneath like that. We're going to take our first color. Again, just like in practice, set it forward, push it that way until it locks in. Flex, release, push, pull, the 4-step method, remembering the 45-degree angle. There's my first color. Here's my second color. Flex, release, push, pull. Now we're going to get ready to dry. Just by pulling the heater over the top, you're now starting the drying process. When your machine's warmed up, what you'll find out, it's going to be between 35 seconds and a minute. One of the best ways to test this is throw it in the wash machine when you first start your business so you know that it's cured. That's one of the worst things you can do for a shirt. If it washes good, you're cured. What a lot of people do, though, is they go down to their local supply house, and we sell all our products as well. You can buy temperature tape. By putting the tape along the plate in different places, you can find out what kind of temperatures you're reaching. You want to reach approximately 330 degrees over the entire print, through the entire body of ink, and then the shirt will then be cured. So let's say we've gone about a minute right now. See a little steam come off. The shirt should be done. You take it off, and you set it up on your pile because it's now a finished product. After you're done printing, we need to talk about cleanup. Cleanup is what you're going to have to do after every job so that you can get ready for your next job. However, the best person to talk about this is Frank Sliney, owner of Franmar Chemical. We use their supplies, environmentally safe, human safe, and we're going to use him in the next demonstrations on how to use this product. When you use these products, you're going to like them. Feel free to call us to order from us. Our supply number is 800-313-4713. Again, now we're going to leave just for a little while, have Frank do his part on the supplies that you have and cleanup procedures, and we'll be back to talk about marketing.
The first demonstration we're going to do today is the cleaning of a screen with Beanie Doo. And in this demonstration, we hope to show you how convenient, how safe, and how inexpensive, matter of fact, less expensive than the use of mineral spirits, more effective than the use of mineral spirits and other solvents, and a whole lot safer than any solvent that we're using today. And what we'll do is we'll put it on both sides of the screen so we have a good mess, and then what we'll do is we'll rub it in real fine. I'm going to put it on both sides so that we can safely say that we have gone out of our way to demonstrate the effectiveness of this solvent. I know you folks watching this video don't have ink on both sides of the screen, and I also know that you folks out there don't leave this much ink in the mesh or on the emulsion when you go to clean. This is not the most profitable way to do it. But to show you the effectiveness of our Beanie Doo, our soy solvent, I think this kind of ink will kind of show through. Now, first thing I want to do is I want to take a shot glass. I want to fill it completely. It's only partially filled. I'm going to fill it completely with our Beanie Doo solvent in a quart and in a gallon. And I want to take a small quantity of that. I'm going to take 3 eyedroppers full. And because I put ink on both sides, I'm going to use a little bit on the other side also. But before I do that, here, let me show you how little of this solvent that I've used. Okay? Now, before I do that, I'll just pad this in, okay, like this. And you can see how quickly the ink breaks up the use of the solvent. Now, as I put ink on both sides, I will put solvent on both sides, and we'll do this. We like the pad as opposed to a rag because it doesn't absorb the solvent. That's the first thing. We like a pad as opposed to a brush because it doesn't spit like a brush. But your choice. With a pad like this, you seem to get a much better spread of the solvent, and you're able to spread that 1/4 of an ounce all over the screen. The second procedure is simply adding a little water. Watch. As the water touches the screen, you can almost see the ink emulsify and begin to separate. We put a little water, and then a little water on this side, and you can see the ink. Watch. Look at it. Literally turning to Kool-Aid. How simple, yet easy to clean. Look at that. How simple. Now, paper towel, and we have one side, and we have the other. No mess, no odor, simple, fast. Look at how easy this cleans. Isn't this amazing? Have you ever seen mineral spirits clean a screen as easy as this? Now, I know you can't smell it, but I have to assure you that there is no odor using the soy. Back again. And now we're ready. Rinse it. And we're ready to reclaim. Put a little more water on here to make sure it's sparkly clean. And away we go. For those of you who have power sprayers or little washout hose, something more efficient than our little sprayer, of course, but you can see how quick and easy it takes the ink out. The screen is clean. All the mesh is open. We're ready to proceed to put it away and save it. We're ready to reclaim it. Now, if we were reclaiming it, when we have a mesh like this, we look at it and we say it looks clean. But to be absolutely sure and to have a comparison, we need to make a comparison between, say, one letter and another. Let me show you. I said to you that we can get this cleaner than mineral spirits. This is about as clean as the screen's going to become using mineral spirits. But by using Beanie Dew, I'm going to get it so clean that there is virtually no haze whatsoever. All I did in that application was simply add a small amount of letters, and you can see what it does. Okay. You get a shot of that, nice and clean in the middle. Okay. And here's the 2 letters, and we see now that we have virtually no haze on the screen at all. The next product, when we get all through cleaning our screen, is a product called Strippy-Doo, designed to remove emulsions and stencils. And the simple application is one where you take the Strippy-Doo with a spout top, open it, and you simply apply a small amount across the top. You take a different pad, a separate pad and handle, and you pat it on over the screen. Turn it around, and you do the same on both sides. Always remembering, though, that before you begin, you always take your screen and you wash it down. And you always want to wash it down with water to assure yourself that you have no hydrocarbons left on the screen. We don't want a combination of hydrocarbons and the stripper mixing together. It's an awful lot like putting ammonium chloride together. It forms things that we just, bad smelling stuff. We just don't want to deal with it. So, and it slows everything down. So always rinse the screen off before you begin with water. Once we've done it, again, we take the Strippy-Doo, we apply a small amount, we pat it over, we turn around, do the same, pat it over, do another screen, another one, then come back again with a simple hose, little pressure, and we clean the center of the screen, or we clean the screen out, and away it goes. So, but for real demonstration, let's take the center of this out, and we go from there. We say, just take the whole center of this right out, watch what we're going to do. The first thing we do again, we come back again, and we put a little water, right? We rinse it off, and that's all it takes. That's it. Simple as that. We apply the stripper, we take the pad, and we do a little circle in the middle. All we need to do. And you'll see instantly you'll see instantly it changing color. And we're going to take and apply a small amount to the other side. I've already washed it with water, for those of you who are watching real close. And that's all it takes. This is it. Now you do another screen and another, and away you go. Now, back again before, you never allow a stripper to dry on this mesh. Never. If this were to dry, it should be locked in. It would make the combination, nothing would be washed out, and the result would be that it would be extremely difficult to remove this if it were left to dry. But we're not going to do that. We're going to simply pat it in like this, and you can just see the emulsion come apart. Look at it. Okay? That's all there is to it. This is simple. That's all there is to it when you're using Strippy-Doo. Now, let's see how effective this is and how clean we have the screen. I'll place some little paper towels down here so that we don't make too great a mess, and then I will do this. I'll take my Walmart power sprayer filled with normal water, and I will put great pressure in it, and I will do the following. Watch. And I'll just simply clean the screen. Folks, it can't be any easier than that. You're cleaning and reclaiming a screen with a squirt gun. And that's all there is to it. Simple as that. Simple as that. Wash it in your sink. All done. Rinse it off. I just want to show you how clean it is in the middle of the screen. Voila. Done. Anybody out there identify with a screen like this? A little bit of ghost or haze or whatever we want to call it. Can we see that on the screen? That is a problem we've all encountered. Very simply, we've removed the emulsion, we're using mineral spirits, and the residue inks left in the emulsion, and we know we're having problems. And the next step is taking a caustic, or, because it is a terrible job, just simply leaving it, letting the screen dry, recoating it and shooting it, and shooting it and shooting it until you get to the point where we all know it's almost virtually impossible to clean it. Let's see if we can clean this screen safely and conveniently immediately after reclaiming it. Now, this is a screen now that's been done with mineral spirits, and when you use Beanie-Doo and our other solvents, you don't have the occasion to have this much haze left in it. But this is an older screen. This is a screen that's been used for a long period of time, and the ink has taken, the solvents have taken the pigment and have drawn it into the mesh so that we have this ghost image, and we now have to remove it. And let me show you how to remove this ghost image safely and very effectively. The product's name is Dehaze, a product that is a non-caustic, so it's safe, doesn't burn, and yet is extremely effective in removing the haze. We're going to take a small amount of it, and we'll apply it to one or two of the letters so that you can see the contrast. We're going to take a pad after we've laid the screen down on a non-porous surface. We place the screen flat, and we just simply pat it in the solvent, and we allow it to sit. Now, allow it to sit for, say, 10, 15 minutes, and then come back again, give it a little pat, and simply wash it out. But we don't want the video to run that long, so what we'll do is we'll place it, and then we'll clean both sides of it, like this, okay? And then to show you how effective this is, you've watched me clean it, and we'll do this. And if you could bring the camera in on that spot to show our viewing audience how clean it is, and that's how you dehaze with a Franmar product. Simply place it, pat it in, and wipe it out. Now we're ready to simply rinse this screen, rinse it from both sides, because there is a degreaser in this dehazing product. We rinse it from both sides, put it in the rack, allow it to coat it, allow it to dry, and we're off and running. We have no ghost image, we have we're not buying long-term problems by using this safe product. I'll take another side of it, just to give you another part. We'll take the first part of it off. That's all I did. I just applied a small amount to it. I took a pad and I patted it in. The larger screens are for a large number of screens. I would do one of two. I'd pat it in with the handle. I would allow them to sit for a moment. I'd do another, and then I'd come back again and I'd simply power them out either with a power sprayer or with a good wash. And that's all I'm simply doing, just taking that off. I'm going to take a part of the basket off here. And that's it. And I just clean it on both sides. And I take a little bit of the basket. And you can see the screen turning clean right in front of your eyes. And that's all there is to dehazing a screen when you're using our solvents. And that's it. Done. Simple as that. Wasn't that easy? And again, you'll have to, I can assure you that there's no strong odor. Easy to do. Someone dehazing a screen like this, someone 10, 15 feet away, 5 feet away, 4 feet away, could not tell what I'm doing by odor. So that's dehaze. We designed this product, Icky Sticky Unstuck, in a special application for cleaning pallets. What we find is that the product is being used across the board for cleaning ink out of carpeting and on clothing and sundry other applications. But it was designed to clean a pallet. And it was designed to replace xylenes and mineral spirits in doing this terrible job. We know that when we're out cleaning, we're out getting the job done, and we have some superior super tack here like this, we know that we tack it all up, and then we turn around and we print a little bit, and before we know it, what we have on the platen is a lot of fleece. And we'll do that, but the job must go on, and so we spray again. And we print some more. And as we print, we end up with some more fleece. And at the end of the day, someone in our operation has got to clean this. And what we'll do is we'll make a good heavy mess, and what we're trying to do is arrange one here so that you can identify with this. Identify. We always want to put a little ink on. We don't know how the ink gets here, but we know that it does. We know that we do this, and we know we have to get the job out, so it seems like we're always spraying it, and they get build up layers of spray, and before we know it, we have ink and fleece, and we have all this sundry matter. And then, as I said before, someone has to clean it. We designed Icky Sticky Unstuck to make that job a whole lot easier. By simply taking one pallet and spraying on this nice scented, has a nice citrus scent to it, nice scent solvent, and that's it. It was as simple as that, and it was done. We went to the second pallet and the third and the fourth, and we went around our press and we cleaned up, and we cleaned the arms of all the spray, and we took all the webs away, and then we simply took them back again with a paper towel, and we did this. That's all we did. And that was all that was necessary to clean this. And we had ourselves a nice, clean, easy job that anybody now is willing to do very quickly, effectively, and safely. We clean pallets. Isn't that nice?
By now, you've probably realized that screen printing is a very simple process. And you probably figured that, yeah, I can do this. I can actually make the screens and I can print it, but part of that is, that's part of business. But the other part of business is marketing. You have to be able to make it and you have to be able to market it. In your manual, there is a whole section on marketing. It's available to you and it has a lot of good information, but I want to take a moment right now to talk to you about marketing. The design that this machine is made for is small quantity. I don't want to do 500 or 1,000 shirts. If I have the time and the profits there, sure I will. But your market is the 2 dozen, the 4 dozen, or even the 5 shirts. Bowling teams, church groups, small businesses. 90% of America is small business with 10 or less employees. Church groups, sporting teams, all those things are there for you to market to. And I'm going to take a few minutes right now to work with you on what we found to be the best way to market. In your manual, in the marketing section, you will find a flyer. The flyer is the best representation of what you can do. For about $25, go to any copy shop, run you off a flyer. If you have no way to produce your own, we even left you one without a name on it already. You can just stick your name and go. We believe that if you can go out for 12 weeks and drop off 20 flyers, and we teach this in our classes, that you will have enough business to start your business with. And it's been proven time and time again. Matter of fact, we've never had anybody go out more than 7 weeks till they had business. One of the easiest tools you can have is write a list down of people you know, your church group, the sports teams your kids are on, and think about them as potential customers. But I want you to take that list and put it away. Those are the easy ones. What we teach you to do is to take your flyer and go out and visit mom and pop small business, restaurants, bowling teams, churches, schools. And it's a very simple process, because when you go into a small business, usually the person you run into is either the secretary or the owner. This business is built on 2 things: repeat and referral business. The best kind of advertising there is of course word of mouth. And when you find out how exciting, how easy it is to get business, you'll find out your whole life will change about starting your own screen printing business. But basically it's a very simple process. You make your flyer, you go into a small business, introduce yourself. You have about 16 seconds before that person will turn you off. So my sales presentation in my shop is very simple. Hi, I'm John Benedetto with Universal Screen Printing Systems, and I specialize in small quantity orders for the small businessman. I will do bags, shirts, hats, jackets, plaques, awards, 1 to 1,000. I don't care the quantity. I guarantee my work, I guarantee my delivery date, and I'm very competitively priced. If you ever need anything like that, give me a call and start to walk away. 1 out of 10 times our records show that those people will start talking to you about their first order. And that's how you start your business. But there are a lot of other possibilities for you, such as sports stores. They do sporting goods and t-shirts and stuff for other teams. Why don't you get the business? Bowling teams. Other screen print shops. Now that sounds kind of strange, but a lot of screen printers have a minimum order of like 72 or more. Well, if you go in and tell the screen printer, hey, I only do 12 or 13, he would love to turn that business over to you because he doesn't have the time. He's not working at home. He has overhead. Trophy shops. Small stores that deal in what we call soft goods, t-shirts and sweatshirts, such like in tourist towns and things like that. All this is now open to you. Just remember the rule. You can print anything flat: wood, metal, plastic, glass, or paper. Don't limit yourself. Basically, that's how simple marketing is. Thank you.
Universal Screen Printing Systems offers a full line of supplies and cleaning solvents. If you have questions or need to order supplies, call our toll-free number listed in the training manual. Line of supplies and cleaning solvents.